What's going on, car family? I'm Ben Wayne. Thank you for joining me in another video. Today, we're here to take a look at the 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonale Veloce all-wheel drive model. Now, this is a vehicle that is going up against the likes of the BMW X1 or the Mercedes-Benz GLA 250. So what you're getting here is a compact luxury SUV or crossover, whichever you want to call it. So what this vehicle is offering, in my opinion, is the best of both worlds. This is a hybrid vehicle, meaning that I do have the internal combustion engine, but I also have an electric motor powering the rear wheels as needed, right? So I have the best of both worlds. I'm not fully dependent on an electrical infrastructure that is still not up to par yet, right? So I'm not going to get any range anxiety. If I feel like I don't have enough range, I can stop for gas. If I want to go out around town, I have up to 30 miles range on full electric capability without using the ICE. So this is giving me the flexibility that I want and need in a luxury vehicle. A lot of other EVs out there, we're getting the EVs and they're getting better with time, but in my opinion, they're not fully there yet. We don't have the infrastructure to support it yet. And if you're in agreement, maybe a hybrid vehicle, which gives you the best of both worlds, is something you might want to take a look at. So let's talk about this spectacular looking vehicle. Starting from the exterior, we have classic Alfa Romeo vibes in terms of the design language. That means you're getting that triangular shaped grille, that upside down triangular shaped grille, the classic Alfa Romeo badge, and of course, if you're familiar with their heritage, you're going to realize that they pulled some of their heritage into designing the headlamps with the tri-style headlamp design, right? So you have daytime running lamps and of course adaptive LED headlamps as well. So I love that daytime running lamp design. They refer to that as I think the tribolo headlamp design. And it just really is striking, looks unlike anything else on the road, truly screams Alfa Romeo when you look at it, right? So let's talk about the hood design. A simple, subtle design which just goes smoothly into the front. The front is defined by functionality because all the vents up front that you see are totally functional. Not just the grille, the small vents next to the grille are functional, and of course, the vents on the lower fascia are functional as well. You also notice you have some body sculpting along there with some side vents slitted into the body color portion of that front fascia. Those are functional as well. So I love the design, how functionality meets the design up front here. So underneath the hood, what are we getting? We're getting a 1.3 liter 4-cylinder turbo power plant that's giving us 285 horsepower, 347 pound-feet of torque, connected to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now those numbers are paired with that electric motor. So we're getting a total range of 320 miles, and again, 30 miles on just pure electric. So this is connected with a 15.5 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery. So the way the system works, it just flows together seamlessly, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as we drive the vehicle and talk about how it feels. Now, when it comes to the fuel economy, what you're getting is 23 city and about 29 highway. So between the internal combustion engine and the electric motor, you're getting an all-wheel drive setup here, and it's going to give you a 0 to 60 time of about 5.7 seconds as tested. So it has enough get up and go for those daily driving needs that you will have. You feel confident when behind the wheel. Once you need to go, the car is going to get going. And I noticed even in the full EV mode, the car has decent enough acceleration for you to feel comfortable while just going around town, just in the full EV setup. Really love that about this vehicle. Okay, so let's make our way to the side profile. First thing that jumped out at me when I saw this car are the ginormous 20-inch 5-hole wheels. Again, that harkens back to Alfa Romeo's heritage. I love the way they're pulling heritage all over this vehicle's design. Of course, we have gloss black mirrors with the tricolore stripe on the mirrors. That's a nice touch. And you'll notice that we do have kind of like a gloss black around the wheel arches and the lower portion of the body. Now for me, typically I like body color arches, but it really works on this vehicle to have it in gloss black. So I'm not mad at Alfa Romeo at all with that. Now we do have a Veloce badge on the side that tells people what trim level this is. You got to let them know what the Veloce is. So you do have that Veloce badge on the side. That looks nice. One thing I like about this vehicle is the absence of the roof rack. So it still has those GT-esque design cues, right? Which they're known for. So I love how they didn't put a roof rack on this one. It looks sporty. Everywhere I go, this has just been a head turner. People either ask me, what is that? Or, man, that is good looking. I didn't know Alfa Romeo was putting out SUVs. So the reason why they're doing that is because obviously there's demand for SUVs and the company needs to make money. Now, the more of these they sell, the more Alfa Romeo can put into making those sports sedans and cars that we like and come to know and love from the brand. But this is definitely heading in the right direction because it still gives you those sporty vibes with how the car feels and looks. Now, your brake rotors up front, they're going to be 4-piston calipers up there. So the brakes feel natural in this vehicle. And that's one thing I noticed in hybrids and electric vehicles. The manufacturer typically doesn't get that right. But Alfa Romeo nailed the feel on this vehicle in terms of the brake. You don't feel like you don't have enough power, and they're not too grabby at all either, right? So you have enough stopping power, and it doesn't feel artificial. It feels completely natural, which is one of my favorite factors about this vehicle. Now, coming towards the rear, of course, we have a full LED light band, right? And then you have that tri-theme going with the LED tail lamps as well. So the theme is carried out all throughout this vehicle. Really love that about the design. Now, since this is the Veloce model, we're getting that dual exhaust tip setup back there. You have a nice stainless exhaust. Really looks sporty, provides a really sporty edge from the back. It kind of just screams, again, that heritage that Alfa Romeo is known for. So let me go ahead and floor it. And it just gets up and goes. Decent acceleration. You can hear that electric motor kick in as well. So again, you're getting the best of both worlds in this setup. It's delivering on every level. So while we're focusing on the rear, I will mention that if you lift up that hatch, you're going to be greeted by about 23 cubic feet of storage. You want more storage, you drop that second row, you're getting 50 plus cubic feet of storage there. All right, so again, it's a compact luxury SUV and it's delivering on usability. So let's talk about the interior and pricing as well. So as shown, this is $52,000. Again, this is the Veloce trim model. This is the Veloce trim model. So you're greeted by, leather, Alcantara, and suede on different types of surfaces. You have aluminum here. The contrast stitching, it really screams that Alfa Romeo sporty racing heritage that the company is known for. Now, driving it, the car feels exceptionally put together, meaning that the steering is light but very direct. Doesn't feel too artificial at all. The suspension feels firm but supple enough to drive this on a daily basis, right? So it feels like it has the soul of a sports car but in a luxury compact SUV. Top of the dash, we're covered in an injection molded material here. Coming lower, we do have a 10.25-inch display touchscreen system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. But what makes this touchscreen system unique as compared to a lot of the other vehicles I've tested is that this touchscreen is fully customizable, meaning that on the home screen, there are widgets, right? That means that if you want to customize it and tailor it to meet your needs, let's say I live in a cold climate or I just like being warm, I can make it so the heated seat button is located on the home screen right where I want it. So when I turn on the car, I can just hit it. So I can move apps or widgets and put them exactly where I want them to be. So there's no hunting through a sea of menus to get to that favorite feature that you like to use frequently. You can just move it to wherever you want it to be. Now, on the cars I've tested recently, I can't even remember a competitor that's offering that. So that's Alfa Romeo taking the Uconnect system to the next level right there. Coming lower, we do have your air conditioning system, your air conditioning vents, and then again, physical buttons for your air conditioner system. So the air conditioner system is separate from the touchscreen system. Love that. Love the physical buttons there. Great use of that. We do have wireless charging, and we also have a rotary knob for your different drive modes. So if I want to shift it into, let's say, the efficiency mode and go pure electric, I can do that. And you'll notice that it is a seamless transition, right? There's no juddering or shaking when I'm going from electric to the ice or vice versa. So that's nice and smooth. And again, you do have decent acceleration in electric mode. We're in pure electric now, and it's just such a smooth ride. Now I also have a natural mode, which uses, the best of both worlds for an efficient drive, hybrid. But then I also have a dynamic mode, which is more of a sporty edge, and you can use the paddles while in dynamic mode and just have a little bit of fun with the car, right? You can take this on a twisty country road and have confidence that the suspension and steering is going to deliver what you would expect from an Alfa Romeo. Right? We do have wireless charging again here. Coming further back, your gear selector as well, 2 cup holders, USB ports galore up here. So we have 2 up here and 2 in the rear as well. Now coming over to the steering wheel, covered in black leather, feels great in my hands, I must say. Alfa Romeo badge sits proudly there. We do have controls on either side. But what my favorite feature of the steering wheel is, Alfa Romeo always gets these right. You have huge aluminum shift paddles behind the steering wheel. And not only do they serve as great functionality, they look great, right? They truly look great. It always bothers me when there's a vehicle out on the market that's supposed to have a sporting heritage to it or aesthetic to it, and the shift paddles are just way too small. They're actually like buttons. That is not the case here. These are large aluminum paddles, and it gives you the flexibility of being able to grab them pretty much no matter where you are in terms of the steering wheel location with your hands, right? So those look nice and they function extremely well and feel good too. Behind the steering wheel, I do have a thin film transistor display screen here. Clear and vibrant, easy to read as you would expect. It's the way it's put together for me that makes me like the interior of this vehicle. Of course, again, we have that Alcantara with the red cross stitching going all the way throughout the vehicle. Looks great. The seats, they are supportive. They are firm, right? Again, they have that sporty edge to it, but they're not going to give you fatigue if you need to do a long drive in this vehicle and use up that 320 miles of total range in this car. So the seats, they have that black and red theme, okay? So we have the Alcantara all throughout, and then they have holes in them, and behind those holes, it kind of has the red going through it as well. So I love how the red is carried out throughout the entire vehicle. And you have the aluminum silver work on the dash here, just breaking it up a little bit. You have a selection of 5 different ambient lighting choices as well in low light conditions. So this lights up here. Coming to the door panels, they're covered in an injection molded material. We do have silver door handles. You have more of that Alcantara material there. Controls for your side view mirrors and windows as well. That red stitching comes back here, and then we have storage on the bottom of the door as expected. Now, I will say, when sitting in the back, it is a little tight back there. Again, this is a compact vehicle. It's going up against the likes of the BMW X1 and the Mercedes GLA. So just like those vehicles, it's a little tight back there. You do have USB ports back there as well, and air conditioner vents to go along with them. Now, I will say it does feel a little bit claustrophobic in here because we don't have the optional panoramic roof. Again, it is an option in this vehicle. On this particular press vehicle, it just didn't come with it. So I would have loved to see a panoramic roof in here. If I was to get this, I would have to have it, just to let that natural light into this interior. But aside from that, the comfortability and the fun factor, off the charts on this vehicle. And this one's coming in at about $52,000. So it's not something that's going to make you poor. So let me shift it back into the full efficiency mode. So we're just using the electric motor. And again, it's just smooth and quiet. The handling and the feel in this car, it's just terrific. And that's partially due to the fact that it has a near 50-50 weight distribution, right? So you have the ICE up front, you have the battery, which has been positioned to sit kind of upward, and then you have the electric motor on the rear axle there. That's going to give you a near perfect weight distribution. And on curvaceous roads, when you're throwing this around or doing some spirited driving, that's something you can really appreciate. The car is going to where you point it to. There's no sense of oversteer or understeer. It's just a car that's exceptionally balanced. And as far as the engineering is concerned, you guys know I can appreciate that. So we're taking off here in electric. This is pure efficiency mode. It's nice and quiet and smooth. And again, I have decent acceleration, right? So the car is able to pick itself up and get it moving. And you don't feel like, man, since I'm driving in electric mode, I don't have enough power. And that is a sense of confidence that a lot of these other hybrids out here don't really do very well, but they're getting better. But Alfa Romeo just knocked it out the park with this. So I love the Italian styling from the exterior. It looks like nothing else on the street. You know, I've had this for about a week now, and people just keep asking me about it. I drove this to work. People came outside because you don't see stuff like this too often. And the way it feels, again, the way the brakes feel so natural in this vehicle, it's just truly shocking to me compared to everything else I've driven. The brakes don't feel artificial or too grabby at all. You don't feel the regen brakes taking over. It just feels well balanced. So this was a quick review on the Alfa Romeo Tonale Veloce E all-wheel drive. And this vehicle here, guys, if you haven't tested out a hybrid vehicle, before you check out a full EV, I strongly encourage you to check out something like this because they just got it right. They really got the setup of this car right. It's the way it feels so natural. And again, you're getting the best of both worlds, being able to take advantage of plugging in or using that ICE or being able to go around town just in full electric if you don't want to use that internal combustion engine. Price point for this one is at $52,000. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comment section. Thanks to Kimberly of Stellantis for making this review possible. Guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And until next time, I'm Ben Wayne, the automotive reviewer that YouTube deserves. I'll catch you guys in the next one.